What's on your mind? I ponder how you feel. Beautiful creature, forbidden fruit. Can you be mine? I think to myself. That which shines brightest among all else, unique female, forbidden fruit. I get closer, craving your attention. Passions felt with deep intention. Gorgeous woman, forbidden fruit. Now I see you as someone else's. Contemplating on keeping my distance. Radiant angel, forbidden fruit. Guess I'll admire from afar. A friend whose love is oh so raw. Divine light, my forbidden fruit.
Hey guys, you are now tuned in into the Sanford podcast for the culture. So I need you to stop scrolling, open up your eye, and tune in.
Shit and inevitably come back to like what's really real. You feel me? You one of those type of people that you can build with, and that's what we doing here. You feel me?
It's unfortunate, we was talking so much shit before then that we didn't get a chance to get it on motherfucking tape. But hey yo, it's your motherfucking boy Kanai. It's the Sanford podcast, and seeing that it's a very special motherfucking day today. And I'm going to tell you why it's a very special fucking day today. It has nothing to really so much to do with the guest, because the guest is a special motherfucker, but we're going to get into that. You know what I mean? I hope he enjoyed his words of energy, man, early before. But for the most part, what makes this a very special day is because of the fact that it's Taurus season about to enter Gemini season now. Isn't that correct?
Fact. Tomorrow starts Gemini season.
Tomorrow's Gemini season.
Shouts out to all my Geminis out here.
And with that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself, B.
Hey, what's good, yo? My name is King. For other purposes, it's Gemini.The.Leo. Shouts out again to all my Geminis, and much love and respect to my Leos.
Okay. But yeah, so it's my boy right here, man, and I've known him for quite some time now, and I was so glad to get him on because I vibe with him on the regular. When I mean we vibe, and he's somebody who whenever I built with him, I've noticed that there are times that we're on the same page, and there's times when we're not on the same page because it's regular friendship. It's shit that we're gonna disagree with, this shit that we're gonna agree with. But at the end of the day, that doesn't hurt none of our sleeps, because at the end of the day, we still motherfucking niggas, because we don't really try to put our personal feelings, even though we be very passionate about the shit that we talk about. But for the most part, we try to really keep it on building. Because at the end of the day, we're not even trying to tear each other fucking down. Like, we're not here for that silly shit. We're not here for no tricks. We're not here for no Captain Crunch. We're not here for none of that silly shit, alright? But other than that, man, obviously, you can see that he's a motherfucking poet. What I mean? I would like to consider him a wordsmith. I consider myself a wordsmith. I don't really talk too much about my craft and things that I write on the side and what I'm doing, but that's here or there. I like to focus on the culture of what I'm examining. And what I mean by examining is this. This is what this is. Everybody knows this is the Sanford podcast for the culture. This is a community for doers, thinkers, creatives, and entrepreneurs. Thinkers, doers, creators, and entrepreneurs. This is exactly who this is for. Either you're a thinker, Either you're a doer, creative as fuck, or you're just an entrepreneur.
Oh, a little bit of everything. Ain't nothing
Or
wrong with that either.
exactly. You can all be all in one. In fact, that's probably the total package. That's what you need to be. Because at the end of the day, you need to know whatever you put together, whatever you put your heart or your passion or your energy, your time into, don't have nobody take your motherfucking crap and pimp off your shit, especially when you spend countless motherfucking hours or 3 a.m.s and 4 a.m.s up in the motherfucking morning when you trying to bust out that last motherfucking word and you got a motherfucker's writer's block that's been lasting for about 2 motherfucking weeks. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. Because that writer's block be fucking real as fuck, especially when you're dealing with the real outside world shit, because at the end of the day, we're all fucking human.
Absolutely.
We're all fucking human. But for the most part, he's a very multi-talented individual. I say multi-talented because of the fact that he's very passionate about not only his poetry, but he's passionate about anime. He's passionate about his comics. He's passionate about working out. He's passionate about health. He's passionate about... I did say poetry, right? Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure we getting that across, because this is the motherfucking poet. I know a few other poets, but I know this is one of the poets I do know too, and he's a heavy hitter. In fact, we've already been talking about a project that we're about to give y'all real soon. That project is coming. I can't wait.
That's a fact.
I can't wait for that project. In fact, there's gonna be some collaborations, and we're just gonna create a motherfucking vibe, because at the Sanford podcast, we're all about building motherfuckers up. We're not about destroying shit. And I always encourage people to always, build things for themselves and just reap the rewards off of whatever it is that you put together by your goddamn self. We in 2018. You don't need to go out there and hire these big fucking companies. You don't need to hire these fucking big companies to put your shit out, something that you earnestly hard work on. If you need to collaborate with somebody who has that technical mind or the business mind end to help bring your art into fruition, and it's somebody that you know, and especially somebody you know since diapers, this nigga's been your ride or die, and you anyway, I'm not gonna say that part. I was gonna go way left field with this shit, but let me stick to the topic. Enough about hearing me, man. I want y'all to hear from my guest right now, because I want him to go into telling me about how did you become passionate about poetry. When did you fall in love with poetry? When did poetry fall in love with you, my nigga? When did poetry fall in love with you?
Oh man. So let me think about that.
Because sometimes, my bad. Because sometimes I feel like we may feel like we're the chosen ones, but sometimes we are always fucking chosen, bro. Sometimes it's really the other way around, and this is how we become the chosen ones. Because we've been chosen, or there are other times when people say, you know what, I am going to be the chosen one, and they go ahead and they take that shit. You got to make your motherfucking own lane. That's it. Like, you got to make your own lane, and there's no real other way to put this shit. Like, I'm trying to really infuse this whole independence thing. Like, it's so fucking vital, bro, because you have fucking culture vultures that will fucking pimp off your shit, man. That's it. Like, as much as I see it, if everybody wants to stick to the narrative, black people's been pimped on for hundreds of years now. Let's be fucking technical now. Aren't you getting tired of pimping, fella? Aren't you getting tired of that Cracker Jack popping that whip on your back?
All I know is
what the fuck is going on?
I heard at one point pimping don't die, homie.
See, that's different now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you why that's different, because pimping has evolved like most other things. Now, bitches want to pimp themselves. They don't need a nigga to pimp them. They're gonna pimp themselves because they know what the fuck they working with. Let's get back to the topic. I'm so sorry if I really went off track, but listen, man. I hope y'all understand the point I'm trying to get across, and I'm gonna bring it back down a few notches, because, like I said, when you get people who you're very cool with and you have a certain vibe, They can bring out them that.
Your device isn't set up yet. To get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Did she really just interrupt my fucking podcast right now? Hold the fuck up. I'm sorry about that. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard it, right? Google. Fucking Google. Sorry about that interruption. But yeah, so please, I'm gonna bring it back down a few notches. I'm so happy to have my bro here and we over here kicking our shit. So let's just go ahead and get right into the episode. So bro, when did you fall in love with poetry, and how did that whole journey begin for you?
I gotta say, it started for me. I think my first initial interaction with poetry was when my grandmother died. When I was a kid, bro. Like, I think I was like 7, 8. My grandmom's died. Like, and the thing at the time was, my pops had got me like a little computer. So I'm like, I always argue, like I wanted a real computer.
Right.
Sometimes your folks can't afford what you want, or they don't necessarily know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
That's back when computers just started coming out. And I was like, yo, I wanted a real joint, but they got me some like, it wasn't no real computer, but it was something to be educational. But the thing was, at the time my grandma was like, I had never witnessed death. Like, I did not know what death was. Mm-hmm. And this was somebody close to me. So I've never had somebody enter my life or that I've known my entire life and then just not there the next day. Like, I just saw you the night before, and the next morning I'm being told that you're not coming back around. I'm like, what? Like, how do I process that? So what my pops did, because my mom was already going through her emotions. That was her mother, and it was already hard enough trying to console her. He set it up on my computer where I could type out my thoughts or how I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And sat down on my fire escape, and I sat there looking in the sky and like just whatever came to mind. I just typed out my emotions until I couldn't type no more, until there was no space left.
I don't see too many people chilling on their fire escape. I used to do that shit all the time myself. You know what's
so
therapeutic about being on the fire escape? You know what's so therapeutic about that shit? Like, I used to go on the fire escape just to smoke my blunts. But he was using it for different aspects. He was trying to get his creativity out. He went out on that fire escape and he did his writing. Like, there's something about chilling out on a fire escape. I don't know why, but please continue, bro. You know what I mean? It's
nah, that's cool. But yeah, so like, from that minute, like, long story short, with that, everything that I wrote did not get saved. For whatever reason, like, I went to go show my pops or whatever the case, on my mom's, and like the computer didn't save what I wrote, and I was not happy because I'm like, I just spent a while long typing out my feelings, my emotions, and like nothing was produced from this. So I was like, all right, I got into public school, I'm in my grades, and I liked creative writing class. I liked the fact that whatever we wanted to write about, we could write about.
So you took that in high school?
Public school,
okay.
That was public school. Started writing. And then, like, I noticed, because I was a bit of an odd kid. You feel me? Like, I stuck to myself. I was like one of those bookworm swamp kids. My mama trying to raise my black ass right. Like, nah, you gonna get them A grades. Like, my mom's didn't tolerate none of that craziness, right? Mm-hmm. So I would speak based off my emotions. Like, because I didn't necessarily verbalize how I felt about a lot of stuff. Like, I would just, like, watch from afar, or, like, if something, like, really, like, affected me or moved me, I would write about it. And I noticed that it didn't really start hitting me until I was, like, in junior high school, and, girls start being around you, and then you start wanting to say things, you don't know what to say, so then you start trying to write it in letters and trying to be cute or smooth with your words. And then once I got to, like, high school, got me a little book, started journaling out my thoughts. I had a nice little setup, and I got into a relationship. And needless to say, my work was lost again. Like, I let somebody hold my book.
Yo, bro, you just have a habit of losing shit.
I have a bad habit of losing stuff. Bro, so like, I lost my book again. When I lost my book, it had all of my stuff in it. Like, I stopped writing after that. Like I didn't want to write no more. You feel me? Because I felt hurt by the person that lost it, because I felt like that was a little bit irresponsible on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I felt like that was like years of work. Like you can't recreate that. Those are emotions that were felt at a time that you cannot process that same emotion once it's felt. Mm-hmm. Once you write it down at that moment in time, mm-hmm. when it comes back to you again, like you can always try to channel it, but it's never exactly the same. You know, and I stopped writing for a long time. I didn't start writing again until I was like 20. But that was on some erotic shit.
Okay.
I was on some erotic shit.
How did that come about? Like, what made you want to start getting into writing erotic?
I used to work security at a college. Okay. I'm not gonna say where.
No. You don't have to disclose it. Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, for people that know me, like they pretty much like might know the story, but because I love to share my stories. But yeah, like I used to work the security. You know, people used to be at my desk and we used to chop it up or whatever the case and just talk smack. You know, and I know like there used to be times where I just used to come up with random shit off the top of my dome. I just be saying whatever, like, and like one day there was a topic that we was talking about you know, like stuff that be turning people on, and they was talking about these Zane books and all this other shit. I'm like, I could come up with some shit way better than that, like, you know, just talking my shit. I ain't never read a Zane book before, but I heard there was always some erotic shit in that shit. I'm like, yo, look, I done had enough experience so I could just pinpoint some shit off the top of my dome and come up with. So they're like, oh yeah, prove it. I'm like, throw me a scenario. Yeah. So and give me a scenario, a place, like, for instance, like be like, we say we in the projects or some shit.
We in the
like,
projects.
You know, like, we just went out on a date or whatever the case, and now like we about to break out, whatever. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll be like, yo, come back in like 15, 20 minutes, half hour tops. They come back. I already came out with a whole scripted idea about like that I came up off the dome with for that scenario. Needless to say, they was getting open. Like it was getting to a point where like they was just coming like, yo, like I want to hear some more of this shit. Like, yo, like everybody coming up with different scenarios, and I'm not gonna front, like that shit was boosting me to wanna write more. Cause I'm like, oh, like this shit is fun. You know, it's fun. It's something to talk about. You know, it's taboo stuff that not everybody want to talk about because people be a little sensitive. But you know, like you gotta love what you do, and then not for nothing, but experience is the best teacher. And at the time, I've had bad experiences, but I had good experiences, and I was sharing them.
But you know, it's very important, and this is also to the listeners as well. It's important that we never motherfucking filter our art at all. Once you filter your fucking art, it's no longer fucking art because this shit ain't got your motherfucking thumbprint on it. Don't ever fucking filter your shit. Keep your shit unfiltered, raw, and motherfucking authentic, and that will always be your motherfucking fingerprint on that shit. But that's what I wanted to say real quick, my bad, bro. Yeah.
Needless to say though, like I wrote for a little while. I stopped writing it too much, but I know like there was people I was like, yo, you mind me writing a story about you? They was like, go ahead. Like you know, people get open. People get open off stories, bro. Like if you could tell a good story.
Listen, the world is built off of stories, bro.
You start building the crowd.
That's how things happen. But shout out to the master storytellers out there. I want to hear from y'all. If you're a master storyteller, reach out. But yeah, it's all about the story.
But yeah, even going back with like regular poetry, you feel me? Like it would just depend. Like I like music, you know, I like lyrics. Like music always sets the mood for me. So it's like even just sometimes just an instrumental. So it's like, you know, like I would vibe out, and it's like whenever the feeling came around, then I would start to write. And I noticed a lot of my muses was always my energy. Like it would always be my mood. And you know, as crazy it may be, like, and you know, there's probably people out there that relate. It would always be when I was like in like a dark or depressed state that I felt like I was motivated to write more.
And I don't know why it seems like when people are in them kind of states, they're most creative. Like I don't know what it is. I feel like you have to go some kind of pain or trauma. This is for a lot of creators, period. A lot of artists can relate to this too. Yeah. They produce some of the best fucking shit. Like for instance, I just want to use an example because his fucking music is so fucking beautiful. The Weeknd. His first album, dope. Second album, dope. Third album, I don't know about that Starboy shit. He lost me with that Starboy shit. But when he came back with My Dear Melancholy, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Melancholy or Melancholy, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but anyway. That was the comeback. That was like, all right, this nigga's back.
Alright, because I don't know where you was at, but welcome back. With that, welcome back.
Word.
Alright, man. But you know, like, in my relationships, not only my emotions, but my relationships also just play a big role to like my poetry too, because it's like, again, not only past relationships, but like, I don't know about for other people, but I know for me, a lot of my memories, like a lot of my vibes always came from like either hanging out with my friends, my jobs that I was working at, or my relationships. You feel me? And I mean, nothing draws your emotions more than your significant other.
Right.
You feel me? Nobody could hurt you more or love you more than your family. You feel me? So, I mean, even with the piece that I spoke today, you feel me? That was based off of a previous relationship, you know, and that was before I even was in that relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just like, my gosh, like, this is a beautiful woman right here. Like, I'm gonna have to take the chance, cause
right.
Although she belonged to someone else, I got to see what up. But you know, life has mysterious ways of working out.
So despite that she belonged to someone else, you still shot your shot.
Yep, yes I did.
So how did that go, bro?
Maybe in another life. You know how the next lyric goes to that song?
Maybe in another life.
Nah. I mean, like, end of the day, you feel me? Like,
but let me ask you something. Would you still do that today?
What?
Try to bust that same move.
With the same person?
No, just a different person.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if the vibe is right, you feel me?
But in terms of her circumstances, like, if she's involved with somebody and things like that. If she's involved with somebody,
I'm getting to a point where that's sticky situations.
Let me ask you something real quick, Smalls. I'm gonna give you a scenario. You know I'm good with these kind of scenarios, right? So check this out. Let's say, for instance, she's an artist and you an artist, right? Mm-hmm. She's got a man, but she's a dope ass artist, dope fucking artist. You fell in love with her art before you fell in love with her. This is deeper than love and basketball.
This guy.
So much to the point that you didn't know her too well, to the point that you did fall in love with her art, but you ran into her on some real, like, y'all was at the same lounge kind of shit, but you've been a fan of her work on the gram for some time now, or the case may be. Mm-hmm. And you, like I said, you really love her art. Now here, check this out. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
If she was getting jumped by some chicks with dicks, would you come to her aid?
I'm about to say, I don't even know where the hell you about to go with this shit.
I don't mean to get out.
First of all, the whole situation would have me like, what the fuck? Of course I'm gonna go help somebody. Like, I'm not gonna just sit there and watch somebody get their ass.
And only reason you found out they was chicks with dicks because of the fact that one of them fell down, their skirt was wide open, and you found like, surprise.
I mean,
would you come to her aid despite that you don't know her, but you fell in love with her art though?
I mean, that's the only right thing to do, bro. You don't just sit there and watch somebody get beat down, like, regardless if you know them or not. Like, I mean, I understand people get caught up in different circumstances. Sometimes you just don't want to get yourself involved. You don't know what's going on. You feel me? But, like, in that circumstance, like, if I recognize this, I can't say I know that person. Mm-hmm. But if I recognize them, you know, it's like, yo, like, hold up. Like, yo, what you doing? You feel me? Like, I'm going to step in like, yo, like, I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to chill. Y'all need to talk this out. Whatever's going on. You feel me? Especially if it's multiple people on this one individual. It's like, come on, somebody got to work something out.
But let's say for instance, I disagree with you and it's like, you know what? Fuck that. You don't need to help her because at the end of the day, you only fell in love with her damn work and with her work. You don't know her. You know her work though, but you don't know her.
Oh yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. First of all, like that love for the work ain't got nothing to do with it. It was that ass whooping that caught me off guard. It was like, oh shit.
But you know that if she gets her ass whipped and something possibly happens, you no longer go to see no more of that arc though.
I like how you twist that up. It's like, yo. Like,
so, but what do you do though? Because you know that if she's at jeopardy, then that art is at jeopardy.
It's like, hold on, bitch.
And right now, you find for some reason you find therapy within her art. You need this, like it's your oxygen, bro. You look at this. You make sure you have her on your push notification, so anytime she posts something, your freaking phone chimes like ding.
First of all, that's some creep shit. That's
borderline
some scary shit.
No. People on push notifications and stuff like that. Like, just to let y'all know, my boy doesn't do social media. He's not with none of that. He doesn't do none of that. So he's not really on the wave of what's going on with social media, Instagram, and things like that. So I'm pretty much. People have notifications just in case of whatever accounts they follow. Whenever they post, they'll be notified right away. Like, yo, boom, this person posted something new. Yeah. So this is how people keep up with the content.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. I thought you was talking about like some
stalking shit.
No. Shit up. It's like they right there. Like I got to know the ins and outs on everything this person's doing. It's like
you do have them though. You do have the stalkers. Yeah. That's a fact. You have the stalkers, the bullies, all them, the trolls, stalkers, bullies, and trolls. That's another episode.
I was talking like not to jump off top, but I know I was talking about some shit about that the other day because I was like, at the end of the day, that's what paparazzi is. At the end of the day,
bingo, word.
But you know, like at the end of the day, like I said, man, it don't. I mean, like if you want to go into that type of circumstance, you feel me? And it's like, yo, like this is somebody that's putting out that work. It's like if you seen. You know, and not to jump too far off shit, but it's like if you have a job and it's like you see the boss of your job, the dude that you got an interview with that's about to hire you the next time you see him. He already spoke to you. He's like, yo, good job. You know, like next time I see you, we'll like probably sit here and fill out the paperwork. Like, don't worry. He's the only nigga that's about to hire you and you see him getting his ass whooped and somebody about to kill this nigga. But you need that job though. It's like, yo, that's that multi-million-dollar job. You feel me? You step in or you let that man get killed. Because if that man get killed, there go that money. Like all
is he
that's
white
out the
or can I ask you something? Is he white or black?
He could be both. Why you can't be black? He could be black. He could be white.
Because it does make a difference to me. That's why.
I feel you.
Because if he's white, no offense to the white people out there, I'm not saving his ass. I'm sorry, I'm not going to save his ass. He's going to have to just drown with them sharks. You're going to swim with them fucking sharks. If he's black, yo, we in 2018. I may have to put the cape on. I just may have to put that cape on because, listen, at the end of the day, I've seen too much and I've known things that happen. Like, I'm not going to just let that happen. So I'm looking at the circumstances. I think I would probably come to his aid if he was a man of color as opposed to him not being a man of color. Again, no offense to white people. Again, please.
Yeah. But again, just going back to what we were talking about, it's like, if that's somebody that I feel like that motivates me to like do better, or like their music inspires me, you feel me, or they move me in some way that I can't explain or the next person can't do for me. Most people look to support that person.
Right.
It's like if they was to do a show, you're going to be out there, or you're going to listen to their music, or you're going to advertise it to somebody. Like, yo, like, look what they was just dropped. You feel me? So, yeah, like, if that person motivates me or pushes me, it's like, you know what? I'm out here. Like, yo, I'm going to help you out. Like, yo, you good? You good? Yo, all I'm saying is, can I get a copy of your next CD that drop out? Like, can I get a signed autograph copy? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm out here supporting you. I just put my neck out on the line to help you out. I could have got my ass whooped too. You don't never know what anybody carrying on nowadays.
Very true.
Whether they carrying something or not. You feel me?
Very true. Very true. And the way things are happening out right now, like in the split of a second, your life can be going just that fucking quick. Because right now, like now, a lot of people's not really too much for the chatter. Like a lot of niggas ain't giving no forewarnings that they about to bust a shot. That should just start licking off.
And a lot of people will tell you straight up too. They ain't trying to fight. They trying to just end it. Like right there. Like We not going through all of that wordplay back and forth.
Yeah.
We not trying to be huffing and puffing and throwing a bunch of like nah. Like this shit is over. It's like you can either let it go or another option.
And this is why, again, it's very imperative who you keep yourself surrounded with, who you decide to interact with, whether it be professionally, personally. It's very fucking important because of the fact that you never know the person you're dealing with, what kind of influence they have or how they respond to certain situations, whether it be a comfortable situation or uncomfortable, wherever their perception may be, because you don't know if certain people can be a fucking walking time bomb. And next thing you know, they just go up like, oh, what the fuck was that? And they put you in jeobrdy.
And people will associate you with that other individual.
Exactly.
Like, you was there with them. You mean to tell me you didn't know? Like, hold up. I'm brand new to this just like how you brand new. Oh,
And
yeah? Like, it's hard to believe.
It happens just that fast.
It's
unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Very, 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 very interesting, man. Very interesting because, again, I don't think a lot of people really put too much thought. A lot of people just don't really mind mixing with each other. And that's cool, though, too, depending on with the environment and things like that, because it's always good to go get out there, see what's going on, especially network and just chill. And it's all good, but it becomes something more when you have certain elements in there. The elements of people who like to think like wolves, and they just out there seeking red, and they looking for red. And like, listen, nobody's here for that kind of vibe. Nobody's here for that kind of energy. But when you have these kind of elements mixing into these kind of environments, unfortunately, sometimes things do go wrong, or sometimes things do go left, and it's usually outside of the other person's control.
It's just a matter of being aware of your surroundings, man.
Facts.
It's like,
sometimes you got to know when it's time to bounce and when it's time to stay. And a lot of times, a lot of people getting them fucking instincts. Your intuition be telling you, yo, bitch, get the fuck up out of here. You know, shit's about to jump the fuck off.
I was about to say, yo, I know I seen a skit somewhere, like, some comedy skit where it's like, yo, black people know when shit about to pop off. So I nigga like,
that's a
yo,
fact.
it's time to break out. Like, yo, my man, I'ma holler at you. I'm out. Like, you leaving? Yeah, it's getting late. I got some things to take care of real quick. I'ma holler though.
Yo, you know what's funny? It's funny you mentioned that. I'm gonna give you two scenarios. For instance, I remember a long time ago, I had the same scenario. I went to this club. Once upon a time when I was going to clubs, it was what was it called? Was this club called Club Midnight? Some crazy shit. It was, I think it was called Club Midnight. All right. Don't quote me on it, but let's use Club Midnight. So I go to Club Midnight, where the case may be, and I'm in the spot where the case. And at the time, you know, I'm with my boys, we chilling. You know, at that time we was like into a lot of dumb shit that we were supposed to be into, and so I'm in there, and mind you, like, we ain't got no beef with nobody, nothing like that. We chilling, we go there for the vibes, we there for the drinks, we there for the girls, that kind of thing. But I see this one nigga come inside the fucking club. Now, mind you, at the time, I was in the streets, where the case may be. My ears was to the streets, and I also knew who was doing what and who wasn't doing what. I had the ins and outs of what was going on, somewhat to a degree. So, but it was just one nigga. I'm not gonna throw his name at all. Not gonna throw it. We're not gonna do that. But he stepped into the spot. And he's just well known for letting that thing ring. And for those who don't understand letting that thing ring means that he has no problem letting his fucking gun bust. And he's a wild card. He's extremely very emotional. He's emotional to a point that I think if somebody might have pissed him off in that club, he would have shot that motherfucker up if his strap was in there. And when I seen him enter that spot, I'm like, yeah. Squad up, yo, let's get up out of here, boys. Let's get up out of here, boys.
I'm not about to take no chances.
This nigga just walked through the door. Niggas seen him. He was like, yeah, it's time to get up out of here. Let's go.
It ain't that I'm pussy.
I ain't pussy.
I just ain't trying to be caught up in the shits.
It has nothing to do with pussy, and that's what niggas need to fucking realize. If there's something that's happening, your life is more motherfucking important. You gonna be a pussy dead nigga?
I got things to do.
This is where I feel like motherfuckers got this shit all fucked up. Like, why would somebody want to be a pussy dead nigga? I'd rather be a pussy alive nigga. If you want to label me a pussy, then I'll be alive. Then fuck that. If that's what you consider to be pussy, because nigga, This mother, oh fuck, this nigga's hitting every fucking number on that bingo card.
No funny. I'd be like, yo, like, be like, you
Let's
know what?
talk about it.
You right? I'm soft for snuggles, nigga. Out of here.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like people need people's decision making needs to be a little bit more motherfucking on point, man. Especially when it comes to life and death situations. God damn. Like, come on, like let's be real. But yeah, man. So, but yeah, I have another question for you. Of course. So art, right? Besides poetry, do you see yourself getting into other different forms of art? And if so, what would that be?
Okay, well, so, not to delve too deep, but like right now, like one of the things that I do, that's like an art form for me, is martial arts. Right? Okay. I practice martial arts.
It's definitely a motherfucking art. I can't wait to, yeah. Oh,
it's a bit mental, spiritual, and physical. So it's like I'm working on multi-planes here, and it's something that's fulfilling for me because it helps me center even when I'm feeling off balance. It gives me a sense of purpose. It lets me know that I am working towards something, not only just for my mental, like to keep stable and like to learn something new, like consistently progression, but also like with my physical, like I like to test my body's limits. Like I like to learn how to maneuver or like use my body in ways that would be effective, not only for like defense but also for health. Like I want to be able to be healthy. I want to look good. You feel me? Like I'm about to be 30. Like I look like I'm probably like 24, 25. You feel me? Like I'm trying to look like I'm 30 by the time I'm 50. You feel me?
Facts.
Like
good goals.
Like I'm a personal trainer as well, so it's like that also just is like an add-on bonus to like my training. Right. So not only does my martial arts keep me informed, but that's why I was getting at, like even with my personal training, it's also an art because I get to sculpt my body how I want it to be. And
that in itself is a form of art. Facts.
Other people learn how to get to the better version of themselves. That also leads me into something else I've been dealing with. Like I also do Reiki. Okay. Reiki is spiritual energy. Like I would how
long you been studying Reiki for?
I've been studying it for a little while now. Like it's been maybe almost about a year and change. What my instructor would consider me is like a empath. Like she feels like I'm a healer, and that's been fun. Like I'm not gonna lie, like when you start really looking into the metaphysics of spirituality and like it's a whole nother atmosphere.
It's
and
a whole nother
I always
world.
encourage people to just be a little open-minded and to try and see what works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then at least you open your mind up enough to where you were willing to see where things went.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
So that's another form of art that I work with. Like I'm working on like getting to a point where I can heal other people, or at least like whole classes where, or not even classes, like sessions where I could do spiritual healing with other people. Another thing that I'm working on also with a friend of mine's actually is that she deals with oils, like massage oils, fragrance oils. So like in a sense, to me, that's another form of art because it's applying a smell to you. Like people like to be beautified. You feel me? Like people like to smell good. People should be wanting to be smelling good anyway, any day, every day. So like I deal with that a little bit, and even going back to my writing, not only just the poetry, but like I'm trying to get myself into a mindset of like writing out like short stories or even stuff that could be like movie quality type shit. You feel me? Like, cause in my head that's how my stories play out to me. Like they play out like movies or episodes, and to write those out, just to just come up with some free thinking and free writing, creative shit, and be like, oh shit, like this shit sound good. Like I could see some shit like this happening. I could see myself watching some shit like this on TV. You know, that's something we gonna talk about another day, because you know I want to talk to you about some shit about that. But yeah, man, like even something else, like, you know what I'm trying to do too, like I know somebody that's trying to like work with some production stuff, you know, and I've always had an affinity, like again, like I said it early, like with music. Music to me is like my biggest muse, man. There's nothing that bumps my spirits up more than music.
I feel like music is like the gateway of worlds.
It's an absolute fact. Like it's like you could be in the most fucked up foul mood, bro, but if the song that speaks to you play, you forget about all that shit. The first thing you was like, oh shit, like that's my shit right there. You feel me? And then for the brief moment in time, you forgot everything else in the world.
But you know what? Poetry does have that same effect as well.
Poetry does. And like right now, like that's something I have an interest in. Like, you know, like to produce the beats, like to give that melodic flow, to like open up and to appease people, to like open up their spirit or tap into themselves and like just vibe out with a melody. Or even with my poetry, just have the poetry just vibe out. You feel me? And just let it speak to you. You know, like I thought about songwriting, but you know, like I gotta see where that go, because I'm not a songwriter. But like I just like the bullshit and just come up with some dumb shit to say. Like I know I used to joke around with a friend of mine's, and I'd be like, yo, like my nickname be like Bars B, and she was like, yo, stop saying that. It's like, yo, like, you know. But yeah, so there's a couple of things as far as the creative aspects and the arts is stuff that I have vested interest in. And I think everybody should like know what your interests are, know what your talents are. Like, you know, pour a little. Like it's like you got cups all around you. You feel me? Pour a little bit in each cup. Like you never know. There might be a cup for every flavor that you like. Cause not everybody in this world like different flavors or whatever. Ain't nobody going to want this just one flavor and then that's it.
Right.
You feel me? I like fruit punch. I like orangeade. I like lemon lime. I want to taste all that shit. Give me a cup of all that. You feel me?
So my next question to you, right? How important as an artist is it to have to create a bubble for yourself where you go and you like get into a state of deep work?
I would say that is very crucial.
Like you, like there's no distractions. Like you just like really just throw yourself into a bubble and you just like at time, an hour, half hour, or even hours, depending on how disciplined you are with it. But
because I mean, I understand where you're going with that, because at the same time, like for one, like I said, like that's a major critical aspect that you're going to need, like for any artist. I think, and you know, this is just my opinion on it, but I think any artist would like agree, like you need some type of alone time to be able to get your thoughts together and like just let all of that stuff flow out. And it's like writing out your manifesto or your goals or whatever the case may be. Like you got to know what you want for yourself. You know, like you got to be able to pour out what's in your head on the paper and then look back at it. And if it makes sense to you, then cool. If you want a second opinion, you take that same thing and go, yo, like, what you think of this? You feel me? Like, this is something I was working on. Because if you're sitting in the same room with somebody else, even though it still might be good, you know, whatever you and your peoples come up with, you feel me? It's nothing like when it's your own original work. You know, because you could sit there and, like, say me and you was working on some shit. It's like, and I came up with some shit. Right? And I'm like, yo, listen to this. And then, like, you be like, oh, you know, that sound dope. But, like, yo, like, you know what you should do? You should add this and that and tweak this and like drop that, but put this on. And I'm like, yeah. But then it starts to saturate a little bit. Like, what it originally was to you, and now it's becoming something else.
But you know what? I came to realize that sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
Yeah. It works
but for
both
most,
planes.
right. It's like, but sometimes people get too comfortable with always getting the opinion of others to the point that they lose focus or they lose touch with their art.
That's true.
And I say it to say, because sometimes whatever you create, you may not think like it's only for you because you like it. No, there's somebody else out there that likes that shit. You just don't know who they are. But your job now is to get your art to connect with that person, and that starts off by finding that person. And you that again is the process of building your audience, people who like and enjoy the stuff that you put out. This is why that's why it's so crucial. It's so crucial, the opinions and things like that we let into our lives when it comes to projects or the art that we are currently working on. It's very important.
I mean, like, I'm not even gonna hold you, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'll use like two examples. One being like with Prince. You know, when Prince passed away, they found a vault like with so much shit that he did not even release. It's like, yo, like, you have the right to be choosy with what you want to put out there.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your work.
Right.
You feel me? But you know that there's things that you worked on that could relate to other people. So you might write one thing that, you know, it's like, oh, you know, that's for the people. And then there might be something that you write that's really personal and that you might want to keep to yourself, but then you put it out there because it's like, you know what? Somebody else out there feels the same way I might feel. Or this might help somebody else get through their day, or somebody else might relate to it. You know, like, I'm going to put it out there. Or even if that might not even be the reason, it's just the fact that, you know, I feel like I need to share how I feel. And then there's stuff that, you know, at the end of the day, you have the right to be personal. It's like, yo, if this is what you wrote for you, then by all means, keep it.
Right.
Like, who was my other example? Damn, like, I had to.
No, it's cool. It's cool,
I forgot
bro.
somebody.
Yeah, bro.
You know, like, people put their work out there, you know?
Right.
And then there's definitely nothing wrong with that. You know, and sometimes the message might be misconceived or whatever the case, you know. But at the end of the day, as long as you know what your work stood for, that's all that matters. But my other example is Eminem. Because when he came out, you know, a lot of people were saying his music was just the wrong type of influence. You feel me? That's not to say that he put his music out there for people to either take it literal or to take it to heart. Like, you know, like, this is what people should do because if they were in my shoes, this is how I did it, so this is what you should do. It's like, no, like, the man went through some shit and all he did was share his story. You feel me? He shared his pain. He shared his emotion. Certain things that he could have kept to himself, he decided to share with the world. You feel me? Like, yeah, like, coming up, cleaning out my closet, like, dealing with issues with his moms. He didn't have to put that out there. You feel me? The things that he went through in his childhood, coming up to it, how he got to where he is. You feel me? Even just the little correlations that he was making from his past to his present or whatever the case. You feel me? That's something he decided to share. That's a choice. You feel me? And people, you know, like, you art, for one, is always going to be in some form or fashion criticized. Period. Always. Like, it's always going to be some form of criticism.
Once people develop and they have a fully matured mindset of I don't give a fuck, then your art will find its place and it will stand tall like a fucking pyramid.
Not only that, because when your art gets so good or whatever the case, or you find yourself, like, when you get yourself to that point where it's like, you know what, it is what it is, you gonna hit niggas with some poopity scoop type shit, my nigga. And that shit just gonna speak for itself. It's like, my man, like, I'm so good, but I ain't even got to say much.
But you know what, it's also important because it's like, at the same token, it's like, sometimes I see people, even online, or certain artists and things like that. I want to give a shout out to a few podcasts because I see people who's putting out some good fucking content right now, man. Y'all are just doing it, man. Y'all fucking doing it. And the reason I'm bringing them up right now is because I'm making a correlation to something I seen on one of their pages, and I think I might have seen it on Raw Art. I think it was Raw Art TV. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel. Dope sister. She's focusing on artists herself. and bringing them on her platform and interviewing them and talking about their story and how they got into their art, and they get to speak their story, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing she's doing. Very dope. But I think on her page she was talking about how I think it is. Okay, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. She said something about, competing with herself. That is the fucking best mindset to fucking have. Not only just competing with yourself, but listen, like, there is no competition outside of yourself, because outside of yourself you're just here to fucking dominate. The only competition there is the competition you're competing with your motherfucking self. Because you know why? When I say competing with yourself, because we're always, as artists, we're always going to try to always become better, be more vivid, or be more how we can express this way, or how can we express this that way. We play with things, we try new things out. This is how we work on our craft. We always build ourselves as artists. So it's like, to see her do that, and to see that's her mindset, I fucks with that, because that is the same fucking frequency I'm on as well, and that's the same frequency that I want this podcast to fucking vibe out to. And that's what the fuck the message is, that there's always going to be behind this fucking platform. Artists, there's no competition. The only competition there is with your motherfucking self. The only mindset that you need to have is fucking dominate. Just fucking dominate, period. There is no competition. Because once you start competing with other niggas, you will fuck your shit up. I have a strong feeling, I stand by that shit. You will fuck your shit up. When I mean your shit, I mean your art. You gonna fuck your shit up. Don't be trying to compete with these motherfuckers. Compete with yourself. Try to always do better. Challenge yourself. And and when I realize, and I'm gonna say this one last thing, when I come to realize that when you become so passionate about that fucking process, in terms of just falling in love with that fucking process, it's like, when you fall in love with that fucking process, it's like, bro, it's no longer about the fucking money anymore. It never was about the fucking money. That shit just comes along with it regardless. So you're gonna always live beautifully. You're gonna do what you need to do, but it's all about focusing on your art and always challenging your motherfucking art. You yourself. That's it. Nobody else but you yourself.
You're the only person that's going to tell you no or limit yourself. I mean, there's going to be days where you're going to feel like you don't want to get up out the bed and do this shit today. You got to fight. You got artists that be out there sick as shit, and they still go on tour and on stage and handle their business. You feel me? Like, it's like, what type of artist do you see yourself being? You feel me? And I show. I appreciate artists out there that's like that. Even with the young artists or the entrepreneurs out there that's really trying to establish themselves and, like, get to that point. You feel me? Like, because the only difference is you got to make the sacrifice that you got to make for you in order to push yourself forward. Like, know yourself better than anybody else would know you. Know what you would place as your own limitations and why. And, like, is it a limitation that's going to better you, or is it holding you back? And move forward from there.
Right.
You feel me? Life itself is its own form of art, and your life is your reflection to look back on as your art. The most talented singers, bro. Like, even with just singing, like, the most talented singers, they all have some form of a history. Like, they all have a backstory. Their life, that life that they lived before they was who they are, is what shaped them to be who they are. Like, the songs that they sing, like Mary J. Blige, you feel me? Like, Mike Jackson, like, yo, like, these were legends out here. Like, you feel me? Like, and the type of life that they lived, you feel me? Whether it was heartbreak or pain, or like just born into the lifestyle, and it's like, shit is gonna happen. It's how you handle it and how you push yourself forward. You feel me? How much you go through your struggle and still able to look beyond the now and still see yourself in that position of an artist, that person that you strive to be. And even when you get to that point of that person that you strive to be, again, you're fighting with yourself, because you might have got comfortable. Now you got where you wanted to be. Are you still hungry to keep going forward? Like, do you see yourself being bigger than what you are now? Do you see yourself branching out more?
And what does exactly bigger mean to you? It's like, What is your perception of that? What is that like?
I mean, that's like I even give an example, like even with like artists such as like Rihanna, for example. Like, not only does she do music, you know, she has done movies, you know, she has what is that? She's done, if I'm not mistaken, she's done like clothing. You feel me? Like, she out here doing different things. You know, Jay-Z, another artist. He out here like, your man on the basketball team.
He's making. Yo, it's funny you just mentioned him. Did you know he stopped Meek Mill from going to the White House to talk about criminal justice reform? Jay-Z advised him not to go to the White House, and he dead ass didn't go.
It's that power influence.
But yeah,
I don't know what happened with that situation. I can't really necessarily talk on that.
But I'm sorry, we have to wrap this up a little bit because, you know, time is ticking and people do have a few things they need to take care of because, you know, we do have lives that we all have to live, unfortunately. I wish we can go on much longer because we could go on much longer. There's times when me and this man has had 4-hour conversations. But for the most part, if you tuned in, man, thank you again for being a supporter and listener of the Sanford podcast. Again, this is for the culture. This is, again, for the thinkers, doers, creatives, and the entrepreneurs. And again, thanks for tuning in. And Gemini.The.Leo will be back on the fucking show. He will be back because we have more topics that we need to discuss and things to cover. So,
a long time coming, man. I'll definitely be back.
And on that note, thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your afternoon, wherever you at. But create in darkness and present your art in light. Thank you for listening to the Sanford podcast.